just crazy.
You talk about the importance of remembering that this is a time for love and not hate and not anger. And I want to ask you about the conversation that's been happening over the last 48 hours and really before that, which is about the political rhetoric, the political culture that we live in. Former Homeland Security Secretary Jeh Johnson was out this morning, and he believes that there is an onus on the president when it comes to this conversation. Here's what he had to say, and I want to get your thoughts.
I'm not going to point the fingers at any one individual. I will say that the President of the United States, and in particular this president, has the largest bullhorn. Part of the job of being president is to set the tone. It's not only just being the CEO of the executive branch of the U.S. government, it's setting the tone, setting the mood in our nation.
Governor, is he right?
Well, sure. I mean, I have the biggest megaphone in Ohio as the governor, and all the rest of them, you know, they don't have a megaphone like I have, so I have a really important responsibility. But once we are going back and forth again, Hallie, and look, I was very, very strong about my feeling about how the president has conducted himself. It's part of the reason why I didn't endorse him. But as long as we're going to go back and forth, you know, this and that, I don't know how it's like a civil war. How do we ever stop it?
What do you mean back and forth? Are you, because some people call that whataboutism.
Okay, well, look,
they say, well, you're doing both sidesism at that point.
Well, but Hallie, Hillary said, and I like Hillary, Hillary said, when they go low, we got to go lower. We heard that out of Eric Holder. I mean, there's rhetoric and nasty stuff being said on all sides.
I
think the president has to be, look, the president has to be very careful. And the people that go to these rallies, you know, when he says, I want to hold it back, can I? And they're all screaming no. I mean, that's not good. And here's what happens, Hallie, when we're in a situation.
Hang on one second. I just do want to draw back because I do think it's worth. I don't want to skip over that piece of it because Eric Holder did say he wasn't advocating anything illegal or inappropriate in basically the same breath. And I want to make that point. But when you talk about the president's language at different rallies, like what we saw over the weekend when he was out after the shooting happened, he said, hey, we can't change what we do. And then he made those comments that you referenced. He also today is tweeting about some of this, talking about the anger that the news media, he says, the fake news perpetuates. Kellyanne Conway was out this morning talking about the president's message, Governor, and she says essentially that the president has always called on people to unify. At the same time, there are critics of the president who say it's what he hasn't said that matters. It's what he hasn't said strongly enough, denouncing white nationalism or anti-Semitism.
Hallie,
Where are you on that?
I have been the most outspoken Republican in the Republican Party about the rhetoric and the tenor and everything else of Donald Trump. I never endorsed him. I didn't endorse him, then unendorse him. I've been very clear about it. When you're the President of the United States, you have a giant responsibility to bring a healing and not charge people up. I've said that, okay? But now I have to also say it's on all of us. It doesn't matter who you are. It's on everybody to stop this, because what's happening as we reach a fevered pitch, then what happens is people who are unstable, unbalanced, or sick can have a tendency to do crazy things. There are 11 people dead over in Pittsburgh. When I look at that and I look at the bombs that were sent around the country, what I try to say is we all of us, Republicans, Democrats, we all have to take a deep breath. And nobody has been more critical of the language of the president than I've been. But I also have to say that on the other side, everybody's got to calm down. It's not just one guy. I agree with you. The bigger megaphone is with him. But we have to all agree that we need to back this off.